Hey guys, Dan from WorldofMrGrey, Dan the Grey. Now, ignore the weird little setup, I'm messing around with stuff. But, the last, for about 2 years now, I've been getting comment after comment on the Kinect video I made about 2 years ago, why it can't see ghosts. And I've made a couple of reply videos to those comments, but they don't seem to be getting through to people. Unfortunately, because I do waffle on, even though I bring up the facts and stuff in those videos, I do waffle on, because I don't write stuff down, I go off on a tangent of stuff. So I thought the only way I'm going to reply back to these, to make the definitive final deep dive Kinect video about why it does not see ghosts, is I have an uncle. He's a bit weird, he's a bit eccentric. He likes grand entrances, but he's very good at what he does with. He's a scientist. I think he's a physicist. One of them, I don't know. But he's an uncle of mine, and he's a bit, like I said, he's a bit strange. But yeah, I asked him to help me with the Kinect video, and he was happy to oblige. So that's all I can say is I hope you enjoy. So this is your friendly Kinect 2. Now these are the most standard ones that most ghost hunters will be using, if they have any sense. The old Kinect used to have lasers, but this one has time of flight. Time of flight, you have the IR sensor, you have the depth finder, which is in there, you can't see it, but it's in there, and you have the color finder. Now, the way that the Kinect 2 works is uses time of flight. It doesn't use lasers. It shoots out IR light all the way down to the range of the Kinect. As it travels through time and space, at close to the speed of light, the IR light will bounce off every object, shape and person and send the IR signal or light back to the depth finder, and this will create the depth map of the entire environment and any person standing in front of it. So, going on the logic that the Kinect can see ghosts, I'm going to draw a diagram of why they can't. The Kinect with the IR sensor, the depth sensor, and the color sensor. So let's just say you're in a room with a wall about 14 feet. That's 14 feet away from the thing. Now the IR will flash out lots of IR light in order to make it bounce back to the depth sensor. Right there. Now, friendly little ghost is our ghost. He's got arms, no idea what this is. He looks friendly because look at him smiling. He looks more like a peanut, but if we go like that and do that, maybe, it's a ghost. If the IR sensor is bouncing IR light towards this area, but the ghost is see-through, the IR light cannot bounce off the ghost in order to send tracking data back to the Kinect. Which means sensor is not collecting data from this ghost because, like people keep saying in the comments, the ghosts are see-through, so that's why you can't see them on a Kinect, but they're still tracking them. Not true. The IR light has to be able to track the ghost in order to send the tracking data back to make a stick figure. Kinect, ghost, limit range of the Kinect, bollocks. So now we have all the jargon out of the way for you laymen's out there. We're going to go over some facts. Now all these facts you can find yourself from Microsoft employees, Kinect 2 designers, operators, programmers. They will all tell you the same thing. But going on the comments which we have had in Dan's video, we're going to go over some and come back with some facts, because that's what we like. So what can the Kinect see? The Kinect 2 or Xbox One Kinect uses a combination of technologies to sense and perceive the environment, and it primarily relies on infrared IR light. We've already gone over that. It includes an IR camera, an RGB camera, and a depth sensor. Depth finder, we'll call it. The specific wavelengths of light used by Kinect 2 are the infrared range. only the infrared. Remember that. This enables the device to create a depth map and track the positions of objects and people in its field of view. Its field of view is about 14-foot range. So anything past 14 foot, they will likely not see it, or it'll try and create like a garbly mess you always see on these ghost videos. This is what Dan keeps telling me. While the RGB camera captures visible light, the infrared camera and depth sensor work in the infrared spectrum. The Kinect 2 emits and senses infrared light at wavelengths that are not visible to the human eye. It is important to note that the Kinect 2 is not designed for specific applications in other parts of electromagnetic spectrum, such as ultraviolet or microwave ranges. Its functionality is optimized for the infrared spectrum to support its depth sensing and tracking capabilities. Basically, it's only designed to find the depth of something and bounce back the IR light so it can find a stick figure and objects in the room. Second comment Dan gets quite a lot because this is what he tells me. Can the Kinect 2 track animals? Now in Dan's video he goes over in detail about the Kinect 2, how it cannot track animals, only the humanoid form. The Kinect is primarily designed for human body tracking and gesture recognition. While it can be used for various applications including gaming and interactive experiences, it may not be well suited for tracking animals. The Kinect 2 relies on the depth sensing technology and is optimized for detecting human skeletal movements and recognizing gestures. Basically, it'll recognize your joints, not your neck joints like Dan said before, idiot. It'll recognize the humanoid form and make the rest out. If you put dog in front of it, it might show some stick stuff, it won't show a dog stick though. Tracking animals with the Kinect 2 can be challenging due to differences in anatomy, size and movement patterns compared to humans. Additionally, the Kinect software and algorithms are specifically designed for human tracking, and they may not perform well when applied to animals. They are specifically designed for humans. They are not designed for gorillas, possibly gorillas thinking about it, they're humanoid. They're not designed for dogs, they're not designed for ants. Now this is the next comment. How can the Kinect 2 map stick figures which are not there? Now this is important because in Dan's video he constantly gets comments of the like saying, you have no idea what you are talking about when explaining why the Kinect can't see ghosts. Ghosts are invisible, that's why you can't see them, but the Kinect can. We've already gone over the reason why they can't, but we'll continue. The Kinect 2 uses a combination of sensors and advanced algorithms to map and track stick figures even when individuals are not physically present. When it says even when individuals are not physically present, that doesn't mean it's sensing a ghost. What it means is even if you're not standing in front of it, it will still scan the room and try to look for a humanoid form. And if it does find something, it's because it's getting confused of all the shapes. A simplified explanation. Depth sensing. The depth sensor emits infrared light patterns into the environment. These patterns are invisible to the human eye but can be detected by the sensor. By measuring the time it takes for the emitted light to travel to objects and back to the sensor, the Kinect 2 creates a depth map of the scene. I said map. Map. The depth information is then processed by sophisticated skeletal tracking algorithms. These algorithms analyze the depth map to identify and to track the positions of key joints and body parts in three-dimensional space, not the neck joint. Neck joint doesn't exist. Dan's an idiot. Skeletal representation. The track joints and body parts are used to create a virtual representation of a human skeleton. The skeleton representation is then overlaid on the RGB video feed captured by the Kinect's RGB camera, creating a stick figure or a wireframe-like visualization. Can the Kinect see ghosts? Again, I've gone over it, but we'll go into more detail. No. No. The Kinect 2, like other similar depth sensing devices, is not designed or capable of detecting supernatural entities such as ghosts. The Kinect 2 uses infrared technology and depth sensors to capture and track physical objects, including human bodies, based on their interaction with the emitted and reflected infrared light. So like we said in the diagram, it has to be able to bounce off something in order to give you a depth map or skeletal figure. So let's, for argument's sake, for science sake, say ghosts are see-through. The camera, like we said in the diagram, has to be able to bounce IR light off that ghost in order to show a stick figure back in the depth sensor. Now, if ghosts are see-through, how does that happen? And it's not because they're on a different spectrum of light. As Dan has said before, if you could see it on the viewfinder, you would see it on the view on the screen you're looking at. If the Kinect can see it, you can see it. So going on that logic, if ghosts are see-through, the Kinect camera cannot see it and will not bounce back a skeletal figure. The device relies on algorithms and patterns on the captured data to create a representation of the physical environment and is optimized for recognizing and tracking the movements of living beings. It cannot detect or interact with paranormal entities or phenomena. This comes from programmers, developers, software designers of Microsoft, of the Kinect themselves, not from ghost hunters. Claims, this is important, claims about the Kinect capturing ghosts or paranormal activity are often the result of misinterpretation, misunderstanding, or intentional manipulation of the data, a la Really Haunted. Dan has gone over in many videos over the last couple of years about Really Haunted stick figures. When Lee from Really Haunted is doing his stick figure ghost stuff, and then another stick figure comes along, walks in front of him, stays in shape, because he's been going to the gym, the stick figure, not Lee, that means it's overlaid in editing software afterwards, because if the camera is tracking something in front of Lee, Really Haunted, Lee would then lose shape because the camera cannot see through bodies. It is not an X-ray machine. It is important to approach such claims with a skeptical mindset and consider alternative scientifically supported explanations for any unusual occurrences. The Kinect 2 and similar devices are tools designed for specific purposes and not intended for paranormal investigations. Next one. Can you use the Kinect 2 whilst moving the camera? The Kinect 2 sensor itself is designed to be stationary and relies on its fixed position to capture depth and RGB data accurately. It is not intended to be moved while in operation. The depth sensing technology used by the Kinect 2 relies on specific patterns and calibration that assume a consistent relationship between the emitted infrared light and the sensor's position. Basically, when it's on a fixed tripod like so, that then creates a good depth map for whatever is bouncing back to the IR sensor. If you were doing long exposure photography on a camera, standard still camera, and you took a photo standing still, it'd be amazing. If you did one whilst moving, it would be a garbled mess. Same thing with the Kinect 2. If you move it about, and then it can no longer track the shapes and the depth of the environment it's looking at. It comes back with false positives. Fact. Fact. If you physically move the Kinect 2 sensor while it's operating, it can result in inaccurate depth readings, misalignment of skeletal tracking, and overall degradation of performance. The sensor's ability to capture reliable depth information depends on maintaining a stable and consistent position relative to the scene it's monitoring. But this will likely be the last one. Why can I see a stick figure on the Kinect when there is no one there? If you're seeing a stick figure on the Kinect when there's no one physically present, it could be due to several reasons. Environmental factors. The Kinect relies on the depth sensing technology and may interpret certain environmental elements as if they were a human figure. For example, furniture, shadows, or other objects in the room. Sensor interference. External sources of the infrared light or interference in the environmental can impact the accuracy of the Kinect's depth sensing. This interference might cause the Kinect to generate false readings and create a virtual representation of a stick figure. Software glitch. Occasionally, software glitches or bugs on the Kinect software can lead to unexpected behaviors. It's possible the Kinect's tracking algorithms are not functioning correctly under certain conditions, causing the device to display a stick figure even when there is no physical presence. Calibration issues. Incorrect calibration of the Kinect sensor can also contribute to anomalies in tracking. So, to reiterate, the Kinect cannot see ghosts. If ghosts are see-through, like Dan gets in his comments, the Kinect will not see it because it has to bounce back off the shape it is looking at. Now I hope I could have helped Dan with my scientific reasoning of why the Kinect is not seeing ghosts. If anyone else wants to comment on that, send it in the post. He doesn't want it. If anyone has a counter argument to that, don't put in the comments, "You're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about." Come back with a reasonable explanation of why Dan is wrong, and he will no doubt get back to you. And if he is wrong, he will absolutely correct himself, because he's that kind of guy. So yes, that was Dr. Grey, the scientist. I hope he explained everything very well. I'm pretty sure he did, because he's good like that. And I hope this can be the final nail in the coffin of does the Kinect SLS camera see ghosts? No, it doesn't. But anyway, I'm going. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you like this video. Leave something new to my channel. I do this quite often. That's it. I'm gonna go cook some food now, and because he deserves some food, Dr. Grey. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.